Welcome once again, dear travelers of emotions and loyal subscribers of Secrets Behind the Stars. We live in an age where romances spark like matches and burn out just as quickly, but there are tales that refuse to vanish, tales that seem orchestrated not by publicists but by destiny itself. Today, the spotlight chases a man who can't escape it, Baris Baktaş. What's unfolding behind his closed doors has grown from a whisper to a saga of longing, remorse, and the pursuit of redemption. At the center is a heart divided, tethered to a history that won't let go and pulled toward a future that promises permanence with the captivating Yagmar. Before we cut through this knot, rally with us, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell so you won't miss a single beat, and if you want to support our digging and enjoy exclusive content, the join button is right there waiting. Are you ready to enter the mind of a man who is in love yet bound by what came before? Let's dive in. The entertainment scene, accustomed to polished answers and rehearsed grins, has been startled by rare candor. Baris, usually guarded and careful about what he reveals, has allowed a glimmer of truth to slip out. The words attributed to him in the most private corners of Istanbul aren't the lines of an actor promoting a project, they are the confession of a man standing at a life-altering crossroads. With a calm that frightened those who heard him, he admitted he has found the ultimate love of his life. And all eyes, with a mixture of awe and concern, landed on Yagmar. But that declaration, gilded as it sounds, rests on a battlefield. Those close to Baris describe his days as a storm of opposites. On one side, he's buoyant, like a traveler who finally sees the lighthouse after a long night at sea, confident the name of his future is Yagmar. On the other, he carries chains that can't be shrugged off. It isn't a simple case of an ex in the periphery. There is a former partner with whom he built a home, shared plans, and became a parent. Baris insists their relationship now is solely about co-parenting, a sacred commitment centered on the children's well-being. But can a man so cleanly separate fatherhood from the embers of a shared past when emotions still sting? Let's shift our focus to the woman who could become the axis of this new life, Yagmar. For her, this isn't merely an intoxicating romance, it's a trial that tests every instinct she's honed. Imagine her vantage point, loving a man who arrives with deep-rooted history. Friends describe a carefully composed Yagmar, gentle yet guarded, stepping with prudence rather than haste. It's not that she loves less, she fears more. Experience and the discomforts of complication have urged her to protect her heart. So when Baris made a move that looked suspiciously like a proposal, her answer wasn't a breathless yes, it was a deliberate silence. She's not hunting for glitter, she's searching for assurances. For a woman as perceptive as Yagmar, the lingering presence of a previous family life is not a detail one glosses over. Her quiet question is relentless: has he closed that door entirely? Or will I always be the guest in a story that started without me? Her watchfulness has become an art form. She studies the pauses in his voice, the timing of his calls, the frequency and tone of his visits devoted to the children. She's not suspicious by nature, she is careful by necessity. She needs to know whether the foundation is firm enough to support a shared roof, or whether the ground will liquefy beneath her feet when the past shakes it. Meanwhile, a new set of characters has stepped forward, the Baktaş family. Far from detached observers, they have, according to whispers, taken a meaningful stance. To them, Yagmar seems like the light that Baris has been searching for, a calming presence that grounds him. Rumors suggest they are not only cheering, they may be strategizing, smoothing paths, and even discreetly assisting with the logistics of a union they hope to keep tucked away from prying eyes. This blessing might be the force Baris needs to plant a flag for his next chapter. Yet he knows it's not enough for family to approve. He needs proof of his resolve that no one can mistake. And this is where the story turns cinematic. Gossip swirls about a grand gesture being planned, a sweeping proposal that isn't about showmanship but about sincerity. Forget a simple dinner with candles. The plan, insiders say, involves a secluded venue, intimate, carefully chosen, the kind of place where echoing silence makes promises sound eternal. The detail melting even the staunchest cynic? Rumors say Baris has been taking private lessons. In what? Dance. Yes, Secrets Behind the Stars faithful, picture him, who so often appears fearless in public, learning steps late into the night, chasing rhythm he never claimed as his own, just to speak to Yagmar in the language her heart understands. He wants to show he can learn, adapt, and most importantly, move in time with her. He wants her to feel, without a single spoken word, that she is his only music. But we cannot pretend the past no longer exists. There is a former partner whose life remains intertwined with his. Daily exchanges about school, routines, and holidays are inevitable. In that hum of necessary communication, misunderstandings can proliferate. How does a mother feel watching the father of her children, a man with history etched into her life, making plans to marry again? Is there jealousy there, or the quiet strength of acceptance? Is it resentment, or a hard-won calm that the public rarely sees? Baris has been starkly honest on one point: I can't erase her from my life. That clarity, however noble, is also the stumbling block standing before this new union. For Yagmar, embracing Baris means embracing the permanent outline of another person at the edges of their days. It's the full itinerary, not a one-way ticket. While this intimate trilogy unfolds in private, a war rages in the public square of social media. Fans have split into camps, their opinions slicing across timelines. On one side sit the idealistic romantics, those who watched sparks dance between Baris and Yagmar long ago and decided they were inevitable. To them, obstacles are the dragons love must slay to prove itself. True love will outlast the noise, they write beneath every candid photo. On the other side are the cautious realists, as well as those who champion traditional stability. They argue that a new life cannot be built atop unresolved ruins and that scars from a family's unraveling don't vanish with a ring. Is this fair to Yagmar, they ask. Can he truly begin again without settling the debts of the heart? The debate is relentless, and every rumor detonates into a fresh wave of discourse. Right now, it's a taut but hopeful pause. Baris seems determined to translate feeling into action. Declarations of love, no matter how heartfelt, have stopped satisfying him. He wants to build a structure that stands. We hear that the ring he chose isn't about extravagance, but symbolism, a small circle that marks an audacious new beginning. And Yagmar? There are signs of transformation. Fear hasn't evaporated, but it is slowly dissolving into something gentler. She has glimpsed in him the urgency of someone who recognizes he's found something rare and refuses to gamble with it. Maybe love, finally, can be braver than fear. Maybe she is ready to step forward, even knowing the shadows that will trail them. And then there's the choreography he's been learning in secret. It isn't about spectacle, not really. It's about vulnerability. About putting himself in a place of uncertainty where she can see he's willing to stumble to be by her side. The plan, as the whispers go, is delicate: a hidden location, soft lights, the hush of a room that holds only two people's breath, a melody that means something to her, and a question that changes everything. Not a promise of perfection, just a promise to work, to listen, to keep rhythm even when the music changes. Can it hold? That's the question haunting every corner of this saga. It requires extraordinary maturity, his, hers, and that of the other home that will forever share his calendar. It asks for grace from people who owe each other apologies and understanding that sometimes can't find words. It demands that love accommodate responsibility without shrinking. Friends of Secrets Behind the Stars, we are not witnessing a glossy love story, we are watching two people attempt a courageous balancing act. This isn't about fame, it's about the ancient questions. What is happiness worth? When does duty end and possibility begin? How do you love again without denying what came before? Do you think Yagmar should say yes and step into a life that won't always be simple but might be deeply true? Or is the past too vast, its echoes too loud to live beside? Tell us what you feel in the comments, your insight matters here. And if you want to help this channel bring you what lives behind the headlines, consider pressing the join button. It's a small gesture from you, but it allows us to keep following the starlight to the very end of stories like this. Eyes on the sky, feet on the ground. We'll be listening for that song, looking out for that secret venue, and waiting to see whether a dance becomes a promise. Until next time, family, keep your hearts open and your notifications on, because the moment that proposal unfolds, Secrets Behind the Stars will be right there, bringing you every breathless detail.